It may be tough to remember now, but when Joker was released in 2019, the film sparked concerns that it could lead to violence. That didn't happen, but what was Joker about anyway? Here's the recap you've been waiting for. While the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been enjoying a decade and a half of carefully planned interconnected storytelling, things have been a bit more scattershot over at DC. Director James Gunn is stepping in to clean things up with a whole new direction, but in just the past few years, we've had multiple Batman continuities happening at once. That's not to even mention the way Zack Snyder's Justice League breaks several other films in the process. Anyway, when Joker debuted in 2019, some fans may naturally have expected the film to center around Jared Leto's conception of the character. After all, he just played the Joker in Suicide Squad. This solo film, however, exists in its own continuity, separate from all of the various other DC universes happening at any given time. This version of the Joker isn't just different from Leto's portrayal, it's essentially a brand new character, showing off a discrete personality and different motivations than other portrayals. He's nothing like Heath Ledger's version from The Dark Knight, and he's definitely nothing like Jack Nicholson's iconic interpretation in Tim Burton's Batman. No, this Joker is all Joaquin Phoenix, a collection of character traits and quirks brought to life in a performance that seems to be causing the actor physical pain. The entirely fresh approach paid off, winning Phoenix the Oscar. Arthur Fleck is a sad man. When Joker opens, he's a rent-a-clown working for an agency that lets people hire face-painted funny men for various jobs. When he's hired to spin a sign outside a storefront, a bunch of kids jump him and steal his sign, beating him up and breaking it. This puts his job in jeopardy right from the beginning of the film.
If you don't return the sign, I gotta take it out of your paycheck. Are we clear?
Arthur also has a condition. He laughs a lot, uncontrollably, creepily.
And I'll tell you something else. The other guys, they don't feel comfortable around you, Arthur, because people think you're weird, okay?
He carries a laminated card to hand to people in case he disturbs someone in public, letting them know, quote, it can happen to people with a brain injury or certain neurological conditions. We don't know which Arthur has, but we do know he had quite a troubled childhood, including being abused by his mother's boyfriend. He still lives with his mother Penny, in fact, caring for her as she slips into delusions.
Why would he help us?
Because Thomas Wayne is a good man.
Though Arthur works as a clown, he has other aspirations. Namely, he wants to be a comedian. Arthur loves Live with Murray Franklin, a late-night talk show, and in an attempt to kickstart his comedy career, he participates in a stand-up comedy open mic session. He bombs horribly, unable to stop himself from laughing before he can even get a punchline out.
Hello, it's good to be here.
After Arthur gets jumped on the job, a coworker gives him a gun. He brings it to his next gig, which is, unfortunately, entertaining a bunch of sick children in a cancer ward. Understandably, this gets him fired from his clowning job, setting off a series of events that culminate in Arthur donning the persona of Joker. First, after witnessing 3 Wall Street bros harassing a woman on the subway, Arthur guns them all down. This sends Gotham into a spiral of clown-related panic, as the murders become a cultural symbol for the working class revolting against the rich. Next, Arthur's mother falls ill, and he learns that she's been lying to him most of his life. She's apparently quite delusional, having been locked up at Arkham Asylum, and Arthur also learns that he was adopted, so he kills his mother too. Finally, and perhaps most damagingly, Murray Franklin mocks Arthur on his show. Someone took video of him bombing his stand-up set apparently, and he becomes a laughingstock. Murray calls him a joker on television, and Arthur decides to adopt the persona. By the time Murray invites him to appear on the show, Arthur asks to be introduced as Joker, painting his face for the appearance, even though he's warned that tensions in Gotham are high and there's a chance his look could set off more violence. Violence, it turns out, is just what Joker has planned. When Joker was released in 2019, many critics noted the film's similarities to the work of Martin Scorsese. Our own review made comparisons to Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, and both films can prove instructive in untangling the film's many influences. First, we have Taxi Driver, Scorsese's masterpiece centering around a cabbie named Travis Bickle, a man who grows increasingly alienated and nihilistic as the film goes on. The film's tagline was, quote, "He's a lonely, forgotten man desperate to prove that he's alive." And the same could apply to Arthur Fleck in Joker. After all, when he finally sits down with Murray Franklin and gets to tell a joke, his big joke is a screaming cry for help.
What do you get?
I don't think so.
When you cross
a
mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash!
Call the police!
Then there's The King of Comedy, another De Niro collaboration. That one was about a man, also played by De Niro, who becomes obsessed with a comedian, deciding to commit an act of violence as a way to launch his own career to the next level. This time in Joker, De Niro plays the object of the obsessive fan's attention, and he's also the object of his violence. After that setup, Joker gets to the punchline. A televised execution, the last thing anyone expects. But wait, why didn't Batman stop Joker from sending the city spiraling into chaos? Easy answer, in this version, Batman's still a kid. He's a very young Bruce Wayne, and furthermore, his parents are still alive. There's also a subplot running through Joker about Arthur's increasing obsession with Thomas Wayne, the father of the kid who would someday grow up to don the cape. Arthur's mother Penny used to work for Wayne, and Arthur learns that she's been sending him letters claiming that Arthur is his son. Desperate to draw the attention of the man he now believes to be his father, Arthur travels to Wayne Manor and puts on a little magic show for Bruce, entertaining him from outside the gate.
Do I need to call the police?
No, please. My mother's name is Penny Fleck.
Batman and Joker are, iconically, sworn enemies. The idea that they might be brothers is a new one, adding a twist to their typical oppositions. Batman usually represents order, and the Joker chaos, etc. However, after Arthur confronts Wayne in the bathroom during a fundraiser, he learns that he was adopted, and there's no way Wayne could have been his father. It might have been refreshing for Joker to give us a depiction of Bruce Wayne as a child without going through the typical origin story setup, but we get it anyway. During the Joker riots at the end, we see the Wayne family cornered in an alley. They're killed, and of course, those pearls go flying as young Bruce looks on horrified. After Arthur shoots Franklin Murray on live television, he's quickly arrested. However, his appearance has touched off riots around the city, and now, Gotham is burning. Arthur watches the chaos outside the cop car window with glee. When the car crashes and a bunch of rioting clowns carry him from the wreckage, he climbs atop a car and dances to the adoration of his fans. Then we cut to Arthur, institutionalized, speaking with a therapist inside the gleaming white walls of the asylum. The film doesn't spell out exactly how he was locked up, but it's easy enough to piece together. After all, he killed a man on live television, and the show's bookers knew his name. He admitted to having killed those 3 men on the subway, meaning it was likely easy enough for Gotham PD to pick him up after the rioting calmed down.
What's so funny?
It's just like of a joke.
We should also keep in mind the fact that this isn't Arthur's first time being locked up at Arkham Asylum. Earlier in the film, speaking with the social worker, Arthur makes reference to having been hospitalized, though he declines to say what happened that led to his institutionalization. By the time much of the action in Joker Folie Deux centers around Arkham, the character will be quite familiar with the way the mental hospital runs. The first Joker ended on a sort of cliffhanger. The very last image we have of Arthur Fleck is a shot of the laughing man walking away from the camera and down a white hallway. Did he just kill his therapist? Is this an escape attempt? It seems that Joker Folie Deux will avoid the immediate aftermath of that final scene, instead jumping ahead 2 years. This is a smart choice because it lets the sequel explore its own world without being tied too directly to the events of the first film. Director Todd Phillips told Variety, "The question became, how can we top ourselves? And you can only do that if you do something dangerous. But there were days on set where you'd look around and think, holy what did we do?" Phillips said the time jump also let them dodge the expected results of the end of Joker. He went on, "We didn't want to have him as the clown prince of crime or running a syndicate of criminals. Instead, the film centers around the Joker on trial, combining a romance with a courtroom drama. As Phillips told Variety, why do something if it doesn't scare the out of you? I'm addicted to risk." Recently, Hollywood's been hit with a slate of musicals that seem ashamed of being musicals. For example, the Wicked trailer seems to be hiding the fact that it's a musical. Other recent offenders include The Color Purple, Wonka, and the Mean Girls remake, all of which had trailers that seem to conspicuously omit their musicalness. Then there's the trailer for Joker Folie Deux. While it doesn't necessarily feature full-on musical numbers, it's clear that there's something happening here. We see Harley Quinn and the Joker in several scenes that seem like they might be fantasy sequences, dancing across a gorgeous rooftop set and performing on what might be a TV set. Sure enough, Variety reported in March 2024 that the film would feature at least 15 covers of well-known songs, making it a jukebox musical. Director Todd Phillips doesn't like that characterization. Speaking with Variety, he insisted that his film does things differently than other musicals. He told the publication, "Most of the music in the movie is really just dialogue. It's just Arthur not having the words to say what he wants to say, so he sings them instead." Still, that's exactly how musical numbers function in the vast majority of musicals. Thankfully, in the same piece, Lady Gaga promised, "There's music, there's dance, it's a drama. It's also a courtroom drama. It's a comedy. It's happy, it's sad." In Joker Folie Deux, Lady Gaga will play the Joker's love interest, Harley Quinn. Dr. Harleen Quinzel often starts out as a therapist at Arkham Asylum, but she falls in love with the Joker, and the association drives her mad.
Let's get out of here.
Just as Joker offered us a brand new Joker, Joker Folie Deux promises a new take on the character that's quite different from Margot Robbie's DC Extended Universe portrayal. Robbie supports her successor for the record. She told MTV News, "It makes me so happy because I said from the very beginning that all I want is for Harley Quinn to be one of those characters the way like Macbeth or Batman always gets passed from great actor to great actor." Ahead of the release of the film, director Todd Phillips gave fans a preview of what we can expect from this new characterization. Speaking to Variety, Phillips teased, "The high voice, that accent, the gum chewing and all that sort of sassy stuff that's in the comics, we stripped that away. We wanted her to fit into this world of Gotham that we created from the first movie." Gaga is a pop star in real life, and she played one on screen in A Star is Born, so Gaga endeavored to make sure Harley's singing voice stands out by not sounding professional. She told Empire, "It's like removing the technicality of the whole thing, removing my perceived art form from it all and completely being inside of who she is."